All right, diving right in today. We're going deep on animal intelligence,
Ooh, exciting.
using, of course, the awesome sources you sent our way.
Always the best part.
So get ready. You might just have to rethink what you thought you knew about animal smarts.
That's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're not just talking parrots mimicking us or, dogs doing tricks.
Right. Hmm.
We're going to see just how different intelligence can be out there.
Yeah.
How each animal, each species has its own evolved way of thinking.
Its own set of tools.
Exactly, to survive in its own unique environment.
So we're going way beyond, like, the classic chimp stacking boxes, right?
Oh, yeah, way beyond.
What kind of tools are we actually talking about here?
Okay, so picture this. A New Caledonian crow
Okay.
making a hook, carefully crafting it
Wow.
from a twig to get grubs at a log.
No way.
That's tool use, right? That's
Yeah, but-
problem solving. Even like a bit of culture, because the younger crows, they learn this by
That's
watching
so cool.
their elders.
See, that already makes me think about how we even define intelligence.
Totally.
It's so easy to just think, oh, humans are intelligent because we do math or write poems.
Right. Our very human-centric view.
But for that crow making that hook, that's like genius level stuff for its world, you know?
Exactly. It's about fitting the environment. What comes to mind for you, listener, when you hear animal intelligence? What's that first image?
Yeah.
Because one thing that's really clear from these sources is intelligence isn't about being like us.
Yeah.
It's about using your skills, whatever those skills are, to survive
To thrive.
and flourish in your own little corner of the world.
I love that it's like a specialized toolkit,
It is.
adapting to each species' needs.
Absolutely.
And speaking of diverse tools, these sources are packed with examples of intelligence from all over the animal kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere you look.
We've got crows with their tools, we've got dolphins, maybe even communicating with, like, individual identifiers.
Potentially like names. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. And then there's elephants. They have such intricate social structures.
Oh, incredibly intricate.
Mourning rituals, maybe even experiencing grief.
It's complex, It suggests a real depth of understanding.
It's like the animal kingdom is this giant map of intelligence, not just one destination.
I like that, a map.
Crows have their problem-solving highways. Dolphins have their, like, communication superhighways.
Spirit powerways, love it.
What tools would you say your species excels at, listener?
I think about that. Each example, it really hammers home how diverse it all is.
Yeah.
Crows, they're amazing at spatial reasoning,
Oh, yeah.
coming up with new tools. Dolphins, maybe self-awareness, complex communication.
Complex.
And elephants, incredible memory, social intelligence, maybe even emotional depth, like we were saying.
And that actually brings us to a big point that keeps coming up in these sources. Social intelligence.
Oh, absolutely essential.
We got meerkats sharing the childcare duties, vampire bats with their whole food sharing system,
Oh, yeah, the bats are fascinating.
chimpanzees forming alliances.
Yeah.
Sounds like just being social requires a whole other level of intelligence.
It does. Living in groups, it demands so much
Yeah.
cooperation, altruism, even a sense of fairness.
Fairness.
Like with the bats, right. Reciprocal altruism. They'll share food, but they remember who helped them out before.
Wait, hold on. Let's make sure everyone's with us here.
Mm.
Reciprocal altruism, basically it's like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly.
But in bat world, it's more like you share your blood, I'll share mine later.
Exactly.
And they actually keep track of who's helped them out.
It's like a social ledger, keeping tabs. And it's not just surviving, it's about thriving together.
Makes you think how much we humans rely on that same social intelligence.
All the time.
Reading people, building relationships, working together.
Crucial stuff.
Essential skills.
Absolutely.
And it's fascinating to see those same things happening in other species.
Yeah, with their own unique spin on it.
Right. Their own little twist. And then there's communication. That's another mind-blowing aspect of all this.
Oh, it's incredible.
How animals talk to each other, not just with sounds, but in so many other ways.
Beyond words. Or
Beyond words, yeah. These sources are full of examples.
bursting with them.
Honeybees doing these intricate dances to tell each other where the food is.
Like a little map in dance form.
Cuttlefish changing color, like super fast.
Like a living neon sign.
Makes you wonder, what even IS language then?
That's the question.
Is it just words, or can a dolphin's whistle be just as meaningful? You know?
Right. And with all this complexity, how do we even begin to measure something like that?
That's the million-dollar question. How do we measure animal intelligence when it's so different?
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Stay tuned. Things are about to get really interesting.
Oh, they are.
All right, so we're back and ready to tackle this kind of daunting task,
Yeah.
measuring animal intelligence.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It really is. It's like, how do you compare, I don't know, apples and oranges?
Uh-huh.
Or like a crow's tool making to a dolphin using sonar.
It's tricky.
How do we even start to, like, level the playing field here?
Well, we definitely can't just use our own human standards of intelligence
Right.
on other species.
Yeah.
They're smarts. They evolved to solve different problems.
Right, for their own environments.
Exactly.
So, like, giving a parrot a human IQ test
Yeah, not exactly fair.
wouldn't really work, would it? So what do scientists actually do then?
Okay, so the sources talk about a few really interesting methods.
Okay.
One is behavioral tests.
Okay.
So you give an animal a puzzle or a task,
Uh-huh.
and you see how they solve it.
Okay.
Like, imagine a chimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this clear tube, and there's a treat inside.
Ooh, tasty.
But they got to figure out how to use a stick to get it.
It's like an escape room for animals.
Uh-huh, yeah.
But instead of escaping, they get a treat.
Exactly. They're using their smarts to unlock a snack.
What other methods are there?
Well, another really good one is just watching them. Yeah. Observational studies.
Oh,
Carefully watching animals in their natural habitat.
gotcha.
So you see how they navigate their world, how they interact, how they solve problems in real life.
So like a nature documentary, but with a more, I guess, scientific lens.
Exactly. You're not just admiring them, you're trying to understand their thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's this really cool one, neuroimaging.
Neuro.
What are imaging? It lets scientists actually look inside the brain
Really?
while the animal is doing a task.
That's wild.
One technique, it's called fMRI, it measures brain activity
Okay.
by looking at blood flow.
So we can see which parts of the brain light up when they're thinking.
Exactly, when they're problem solving or maybe even experiencing emotions.
That is so cool. Can you give me an example? Like, how is this actually used?
Oh yeah, for sure. So researchers used fMRI to look at dog brains
Dog brains. Okay.
while they were listening to their owners' voices.
Ah.
And you know what? The parts of the brain that process emotions and social rewards, they lit up, suggesting that, dogs might feel something similar to love and attachment.
That's incredible. It's like science is backing up what so many of us, dog owners already felt.
Pretty amazing.
Makes you wonder what other things are hidden in those animal minds.
It's a huge mystery waiting to be uncovered.
Huge.
But as we're digging deeper, we got to be careful.
Careful how?
We can't just put our own human biases on them
Right,
and
right.
assume they think exactly like us.
That's like saying, right,
Yeah,
if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll think it's stupid its whole life.
exactly. We got to appreciate what makes each species unique, their own kind of smart.
Absolutely, yeah. And ethically? I mean,
Yeah.
we got to make sure we're treating the animals right,
Oh, 100%.
especially in research. No unnecessary stress,
Absolutely. Ethical treatment is crucial. We're all on this planet together, each with our own way of experiencing it.
That's a good point, yeah. Each with their own way. And speaking of experiencing, something that often gets, I think, kind of overlooked when we talk about intelligence.
What's that?
Emotions.
Ah, yes. Big one.
These sources, they suggest animals feel a whole range of emotions.
Oh, for sure.
Not just like basic instincts like fear, but like joy, grief,
Even empathy.
empathy. That's amazing.
It is. We so easily think emotions are just a human thing.
Right.
But the more we look at how animals behave, the more we see these complex feelings.
Yeah. And that emotional intelligence, being able to read and understand emotions.
That's key for social intelligence.
Yes, yeah. Think about those videos like the elephants comforting each other
Oh, heartwarming.
or dogs reacting to their owner's sadness.
It suggests a real depth of understanding beyond just instinct.
Those videos, they always get me. It's hard to deny that connection,
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're saying, I'm here for you, I feel what you're feeling.
Exactly. And these emotional responses, they're crucial in animal societies. Well, species with higher emotional intelligence, they tend to have more stable groups,
Make sense?
more cooperation, less fighting,
It's like they've got a built-in system for like resolving conflicts.
and building relationships, like primates, right? They groom each other after a fight.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It's not just about cleanliness, it's about rebuilding trust.
Through like physical touch.
Exactly, shared experience.
It's so fascinating how similar that is to us humans.
Isn't it?
We hug, we shake hands, same idea.
It's like the language of emotions, it might be more universal than we think.
Yeah. And I mean, just like us, emotional intelligence helps animals be, well, happier.
Absolutely.
Species that are more emotionally aware, they seem to handles stress better.
They do.
Maybe because they have, like, a better support system.
Exactly. They know their group has their back.
Makes a difference, whether you're a chimp or a human.
It really does. And all this, it actually has implications for conservation, too.
Oh, interesting.
If we want to protect animals, we got to think about their emotional needs, too.
It's not just about saving their habitat, then.
It's about the whole picture.
It's about understanding their whole experience.
Exactly.
Now, zooming out a bit, what's really amazing is what all this tells us about ourselves.
Oh, yeah. About us humans.
Right. Studying animal intelligence, including their emotions, it's like a mirror.
Reflecting back at us.
Yeah. We see ourselves in them.
It's humbling.
It is. We're not as unique as we maybe thought.
Nope.
So many of the things we see in animals, problem solving, social learning, emotions,
It's all there in us, too.
it suggests we're all connected, you know?
IR through evolution.
Makes you rethink the whole us versus them thing.
It does. If animals can think and feel so deeply, how does that change how we see them?
Raises some big questions about how we should treat them, how we should live alongside them.
Absolutely.
But before we get too philosophical, let's bring it back down to earth a bit.
Okay, good idea.
What have we actually learned about humans by studying animals?
Well, one thing is there's a real continuity in how our minds work. Like primates, right? The way they form groups, compete, it's remarkably similar to us.
It's like watching like a sped up version of human history.
Haha, yeah. We see the roots of our own behavior.
Right, right.
And then there's self-awareness. Some species, like apes and elephants, they pass the mirror test.
The what?
The mirror test. They recognize themselves in a mirror.
Wait, so they know it's them, not another animal.
It seems that way, yeah.
Whoa, that's like next level.
It is. It suggests a level of self-awareness we used to think was just ours.
So does that mean they're conscious?
That's the big question, isn't it? Does self-awareness equal consciousness?
Yeah.
It's a puzzle, and we're still putting the pieces together.
Still figuring it out.
But these findings, they definitely challenge our understanding.
For sure.
It might be that consciousness isn't a yes or no thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's more like a spectrum.
A spectrum. Interesting.
Yeah, different levels of awareness.
Look, the animal kingdom keeps surprising us.
It does.
Pushing the boundaries of what we thought we knew about intelligence, emotions, even consciousness itself.
And as we keep learning, we got to ask ourselves, what does it all mean for how we live on this planet?
Big question.
It is. And that's what we'll be diving into in our final part.
Stay with us, folks. Things are about to get really deep.
Oh, they are?
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been through a lot, haven't we?
We have.
All this amazing animal intelligence, how to measure it, their feelings.
And now, the big question.
Yeah, the one that kind of hangs over everything we've talked about.
What does all this new understanding about how smart animals are, what does it mean for how we treat them?
How we interact with the whole natural world, really.
Exactly.
This is where it gets personal, listener, because how we see animal intelligence, that changes how we act,
It does. It affects everything.
how we treat animals, the laws we support, even just our everyday choices.
It's about realizing we're all sharing this planet.
Yeah, and that we have a responsibility to other species.
Big time. And these sources we've been looking at, they're pretty clear. We got to change our perspective. Animals aren't just resources for us to use.
Right.
They're beings with their own complex lives.
They think, they feel, they experience the world in ways we probably can't even imagine.
Exactly. And that changes everything.
It does.
Uh,
So where do we even start?
Well, one big area is conservation.
Saving animals, protecting their habitats,
But we got to do it smarter, you know?
using what we've learned about how their minds work.
Right. Like, take elephants.
Those amazing elephants.
We know they've got complex social structures, tight family bonds. So if we want to protect them, we got to protect the whole herd.
Not just one elephant here, one elephant there.
Exactly. Breaking those bonds can be really harmful to them.
And knowing how good certain animals are at solving problems, like those crows,
Oh, yeah, the crows.
that can help us avoid conflict, right?
Absolutely. We can work with their intelligence, not against it.
Find solutions that are good for both sides, humans and animals.
Because we got to coexist, you know? This planet's for all of us.
It is. And this change in thinking, it applies to how we treat animals in other ways, too.
Oh, yeah, like in agriculture or research.
We've got to ask ourselves some tough questions about practices that cause suffering,
Yeah. Is there a better way, a kinder way?
recognizing that they can feel pain, fear, distress, just like us.
It's about matching our actions with our values.
Right. Treating them with respect, compassion, knowing they're not just objects.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've talked about the big picture, but what can we do as individuals?
That's the important part, right? It all starts with awareness
Learning about animal intelligence, the problems they face,
and how our choices make a difference.
question our assumptions, get informed, stay engaged with these issues.
And support the people who are out there fighting for animals.
Donating to sanctuaries, volunteering at shelters.
Even just speaking up for stronger laws, everything helps.
Every little bit adds up.
And on a personal level, just be mindful.
Yeah, in how we interact with animals every day.
Treat your pets with kindness. Observe wildlife respectfully.
Think about the products you buy, the companies you support.
It's about bringing compassion into every part of your life.
Really practicing empathy.
Putting yourself in their shoes or paws or hooves, however you want to think about it.
Because that's what it comes down to, right? Seeing that we're all connected.
We are part of this amazing web of life.
Each species playing a role.
And that means we've got to be responsible for our actions.
The choices we make today, they shape the future for everyone, all species.
They really do. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's our challenge to you, listener.
Yeah. Take what you've learned.
Let it spark something in you.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep speaking up for animals.
For a world where they're valued, for the intelligent, feeling beings they are.
Because when we bridge that gap between us and them, when we choose understanding,
that's how we build a better future for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
It's been a pleasure.